The last 5 months, I've felt my absolute best, overcame my food addiction, kicked my sugar cravings to the curb, I've lost about 15 pounds, and more important than everything, I feel my absolute healthiest. It is a physical journey, it is a spiritual journey, it is a mental journey, and this is the healthiest I've ever been in my life, mostly attributed to the animal-based diet. I've gotten a lot of questions about what this is and what I eat, so today I'm gonna show you my groceries, do some meal prepping, talk about some meal ideas, and what this diet actually is. But first, I'm going to a workout class and picking up my groceries. So let's go. Of course, I get in the car. I'm almost to my workout class, and then it got waitlisted. I didn't sign up in time. Cool. I'm just gonna go thrifting instead until my pickup order is ready. I'm finally home, ready to show you guys my grocery haul. But first, I just had the best find at a thrift store. I've been needing a really nice wool coat, and I found this for $20. It fits me absolutely perfect, and it hits perfectly at my ankles. I'm 5'1", so it's really hard to find things that fit this well, and it's absolutely perfect. And I've been trying, along with this animal-based diet, to be more holistic in other areas, such as my coats. So this is 80% wool, which is really high percent in wool, ideally 100%, but 80% is really good. So super high quality, $20. So what is the animal-based diet? Why am I doing it? Is it strict? Is it hard? And has it changed my life? Let's hop in. So the goal of the animal-based diet is to make you rethink the way that you think about food and trying a new way of eating that's not the standard American diet. The goal is to eat non-inflammatory whole foods. So when you think of what you're about to eat, just remember that's the goal and you'll probably be fine. The animal-based diet is called this because it is based on animal products. So all meat is okay on this diet, but more specifically, red meat that's grass-fed or even locally sourced is like top tier, but all meat is fine. And then any animal products, so eggs, dairy is on it. That depends on you because once again, the goal is to make you healthy, non-inflammatory. So if you have a reaction to dairy, then obviously no dairy, but you can have dairy. The goal is to have the most high quality dairy you can and raw if you can. And then fruit. And a lot of things are fruit that you might not think. Like I eat squash all the time. Squash is a fruit. Cucumbers are a fruit. Obviously your traditional fruits. And then for sweeteners, you can have raw local honey or raw organic maple syrup. And then occasionally maybe some sweet potatoes or 100% cacao dark chocolate. So it sounds a little limiting at first, but once you get into it, there is so much you can do with these foods. It's really just whole foods. Now, the main guy who started this way of eating is against certain vegetables because some vegetables actually can cause inflammatory responses. So it kind of depends more on the person. I was super strict and just ate what was on that list for about 2 months. And then I slowly started adding in a few things that aren't actually on the diet. So just to clear things up with that, I also eat onions, garlic. Sometimes I'll have coconut oil and real olive oil. You have to be careful about where your source is of olive oil. Do some research on that. Pickles, chickpeas, organic peanut butter every once in a while. And I will do a few sugar-free artificial sweeteners for my morning coffee, which probably isn't the best, but balance, you know? Once again, the goal is to see how your body reacts to it and add and take away as needed. So the original reason I started this diet is because I have tried literally everything to lose weight and be healthier and nothing has ever stuck. I actually did the carnivore diet and I loved it, but it was a lot harder to stick to. But that was the only other time I've lost significant weight and was able to keep it off for a while. I've done calorie counting, but I realized that that didn't really help me stay full and I was constantly hungry. So over the summer, I actually gained a little bit more weight than I was basically my heaviest I've ever been this summer, and I was feeling just really tired. I was tired, exhausted. I wasn't strong. I lost like all my muscle. I was so insecure and uncomfortable in my body, and I just knew that something needed to change. So I tried to start eating in a calorie deficit, lost a little bit more weight, but I was still just feeling so sluggish. And I was like, there has to be a way of eating that makes you feel good and not just lose weight. I'm also someone who is literally addicted to food. Call me a glutton. okay? This is why I say it's more than a physical thing. It's also a spiritual journey, and I seriously think God has helped me with this. I was addicted to food, addicted to sugar, and I would just eat and eat and eat. Sometimes I would binge eat. So eating in a calorie deficit was the only thing that ever worked for me. I'm not somebody who can eat a brownie and just have one. Never have been, never will. So I was like, okay, what is another way of eating? And then I discovered the animal-based diet. I love the idea of just completely cutting out all processed foods, because what do I gain from that other than temporary pleasure and this like addiction that I can't let go of wanting more? Because if I eat it tonight, I'm gonna crave it again in an hour, I'm gonna crave it in the morning, I'm gonna crave it the next time. All I can think about is that, and I think these highly processed foods and refined sugars taste so good, I'm literally addicted to it. So until I like completely cut it out, which I did the last 5 months, I was never able to stop. So what do I avoid on the animal-based diet? Unnecessary ingredients, highly processed foods, refined sugar, and foods that the label has a long list of ingredients. So I've taken this even further. I want basically all of my food to be from an animal or from the earth as much as I possibly can. So when I look at a label, even if it's a healthy food, healthy, a lot of things are labeled as healthy and they're not. And then there's like a list this long of ingredients. I'm just like, not worth it. I can find something healthier that's not that. So the goal is basically 1 to 3 to 5-ish ingredients at the most on a label, and you're probably fine. And then as you get into this diet, you learn more about like what to avoid and what not to avoid, but the main thing is going to be sugar. So what results have I seen from this diet? First and foremost, probably what feels like the biggest accomplishment, I've lost about 15 pounds and I'm on track to just keep losing more weight. And it's coming off a little bit slower than I thought, but I feel so good. I'm really proud of that. My skin is clearer, my hair feels healthier, my nails are so strong. I literally just bit them all off, but they're so strong, they never break. And what I think is most important are my energy levels. I wake up feeling good, I go to sleep, and I sleep amazing through the night. I have energy all day. I never have crashes after dinner or after lunch. I never feel super full. I always just feel satiated, just right. I know I've had enough food, but not too much, and I really can't eat anymore. Because I can actually understand my hunger cues, because it's not like the addiction being like, have more, it tasted so good, yum, yum, yum. It's like, wow, that was good. Now I'm done. And along with that is food noise. I literally don't have food noise anymore. And if you're someone who has struggled with food noise, you know that that is the most insane thing to ever imagine. Picture this, someone with food noise. I wake up, I think about food. I can't wait for my next meal. All I can think about is when I get to eat next. All I ever want is to just eat. And then I eat and I wish I could eat more, but I know that I don't want to feel like crap. So I don't, but I really want to. And then maybe in a few hours, I can sneak in another snack. Like all I think about is food. And I didn't realize that that wasn't normal. And now I don't have that. I actually don't really care about food anymore. I'm like, oh, it's lunchtime, I should eat. Oh, it's dinner time, I should eat. Or I have a really good workout and I'm like, oh, I need food to fuel that workout. So that's the other thing that has changed, is my purpose in eating. Now when I eat food, like 90% of the time, I'm only thinking about how this is going to make me feel. So I eat high protein, or I know I'm about to go do a hard workout, so I eat in order to fuel that workout. I eat to fuel my body, not to feel comfy and feel satisfied and feel pleasure from eating. Now there are some desserts that I've learned on this diet that fit in this diet that involve things like heavy cream and cream cheese and maybe some cacao powder, and those are my like desserts, but even those I can only have like 1 or 2 and they still have healthy ingredients, so it's still kind of getting me towards my goals, which is just incredible how I can eat so good and how food taste has completely changed. So since starting this diet, I've only completely broke off the diet, gone out to eat, I would say like 7 times total, maybe even less. And that was just because it was Christmas, I just had some friends in town, that kind of thing. Every single time the food has tasted not very good, even though it's from my favorite restaurant, and I felt like crap after, like literally falling asleep, can't get up. So I'm to the point where I literally like don't even care to ever eat out. My food at home is better and makes me feel better. That is how much has changed from eating on this diet. I seriously feel like my entire life has changed. The way that I think has changed. And that is also why I say it is a spiritual journey. I literally couldn't do this without God. I think I actually had like an addiction to food. I was not sober minded, as we say, because all I would think about is food. And honestly, I think a lot of people can relate to feeling like a glutton, like taking advantage of what God has given me and just overeating for pleasure or for comfort. And I was relying on food as this comfort rather than something that I need to fuel my body. So now I am so thankful for every single bite of food that I have that's healthy and nourishing to my body. And I know I am treating my body well, that is gifted to me from God. And He has opened my eyes a lot to what food should be used for. And I'm just so thankful. And relying on God through this has helped me when it was like kind of hard at the beginning. So that's my one tip, is it's gonna be hard in the beginning, but the longer you eat like this, the less you care about the food that you supposedly can't have. One more thing I'll say is I hate calling this a diet. I don't think this should be called a diet. This should be how literally everybody eats, just whole foods. Who would have thought? It's so good for you. And so this is just healthy eating. This really isn't a diet, whether you do animal-based or just eat whole foods. Just finding the foods that make you actually feel good and thankful for what you eat, I think is so important. So let me show you my groceries for the week. Now onto my grocery haul. This isn't absolutely everything because we also go to the farm once a week. We missed our stop on Saturday because we slept in, so we'll be going on Tuesday, which is where we get all of our ground beef and eggs from. So this is leftover from last week. And we get a lot of our meat from a local farm, and so we know we're getting it basically directly from the source, which is really awesome. But this week, since we're not going to the farm till Tuesday, I did go ahead and grab some ground beef from the store. Ground beef is in pretty much every single one of my dinners that I make, so it's a staple around here. I also got a couple of steaks. I like to chop this up and use it in a little bit of a stir fry. This wasn't part of this trip, but this is coconut amino acids. I don't eat soy or drink soy anymore, so when I make my stir fry, I use coconut amino acids. Of course, we have our staples like salted butter. I really like these two cheeses. I always get a Parmesan cheese and then a goat mozzarella cheese. I do prefer goat dairy if I can, and these are a staple. We eat so much cheese in this house, along with cottage cheese. I got this specific brand. It's in like the whole food section or the healthy food section because the ingredients, there's no extra added ingredients that don't need to be there. There's like 4 ingredients and I know what they all are and I can pronounce them, so that's really good. I like to make pizza using cottage cheese, shredded cheese, and eggs as the crust. And then I make my own pizza sauce with tomatoes, onion, garlic, blend it all together, and it makes a red sauce. So this is one of the few processed foods I still eat. A little bit of fresh pepperoni from the deli. It's probably not the best thing, but it's also not the worst, and I don't have it that often, only when I'm making pizza. This is a bunch of chicken. I don't normally eat chicken. I pretty much only eat red meat, but recently for lunches, I've been going for more like a big chicken salad, just light and easy for lunch, and then I have a really big dinner. So got some chicken to make that. For pasta, I have 2 options. I either do a spaghetti squash. If you don't know about spaghetti squash, it has changed my life. It's literally spaghetti on the inside. Cut it in half, pour some butter or oil in it, cook it for like an hour in the oven at 400, and you get like spaghetti from God. And then I'll make like a white sauce with butter, cheese, heavy cream, and it's just so good. If I don't want to do that, I will have chickpea pasta. Now you have to be careful because there is this one popular brand that has added stuff in it, but the only ingredient in this chickpea pasta is chickpea flour. Now chickpeas technically aren't on the animal-based diet, it's a bean. I feel fine eating them and I don't eat it too often, so I'm cool with it. This was from a different grocery trip. As you can see, I've already eaten them, but I really like this brand of pickles. It's called Wahlburgers Fresh Dill Spears because they also have no added ingredients. A lot of the pickles at the grocery store, like the big brands, have yellow dye in them, so I'm really trying to avoid that. Same with like my mustard, my mayo. I want to learn how to make a lot of that stuff myself, but for now I'm just buying like organic. I make my own ranch out of organic buttermilk and mayo. We also have cream cheese. Now this cream cheese, I've yet to find like a really good brand, so this does have some additives in it that I don't love. But once again, it's like most of my food is good for me. It's okay if like the cream cheese isn't. I really only use this in my desserts. Also for my salad, I like to do some artichoke hearts and some corn. I get bacon from the farm as well, so that's why it's in this random wrapped up thing. I did get a couple sweet potatoes for this week. One of my dinners is gonna have sweet potatoes. I got some cucumbers. I already have some zucchini that'll be in the stir fry. Cucumbers go in the salad. Some avocados, some bell peppers. I also pretty much always have bananas on hand. I can make banana pancakes out of bananas and eggs. Love butternut squash. There's so much you can do with this. You can make fries out of it. I love making soup out of it. It's a huge staple in our house. Pretty much any squash is a staple in our house. There's a squash that tastes exactly like mashed potatoes. You know that feeling you get after you eat a lot of potatoes and you want to go to sleep? I don't get that with the mashed potato squash. There's other stuff that I buy, but I think this is like kind of gives you an idea of what a grocery run would look like for me. And it's actually not that much more expensive, and we don't eat out, so we actually save a ton of money because we only eat at home. I just realized I need to do the dishes. So sorry about that. But there's a little grocery haul. I'm gonna make actually some chickpea pasta for dinner tonight and prep up my salad. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of a good idea. Wait, I feel like I didn't say this enough. Cottage cheese is your best friend. If you feel comfortable eating cottage cheese, you can make tacos, pizza, burritos, all that kind of stuff, like bread stuff, you can make out of chickpeas. Sorry, that is not correct. Out of cottage cheese. And it's high protein, so you get a lot of protein in it. There's so many things you can make with this, it's actually insane. So love some cottage cheese. So now I want to show you guys some real life examples. This is one of the lunches I've been eating. I don't exactly have the recipe because I'll just combine a bunch of TikTok recipes, but I make all my own dressings. That's a huge thing. When you make your own dressings, you can really control what the ingredients are. So I'm just making a salad with this like olive oil sauce. It's got corn, chicken, artichoke hearts. I think it's supposed to be like a bean dense salad, but I don't like beans, so I just don't do beans. And I'll sometimes add chickpea noodles to this as well. So this is a really good one to just meal prep for the whole week. For some of my dinners, I had things like spaghetti squash with a white sauce, which would be like butter, Parmesan cheese, heavy cream. Usually I throw in some ground beef, and this is one of my absolute favorite meals. We have this every single week. I also like to do burger bowls with like onions, ground beef, avocado. I made my own like kind of In-N-Out sauce, but with cleaner ingredients. I really like sweet potatoes. This was also just amazing. I think I actually eat this every week too. I keep it pretty simple, just eat the same things. Butternut squash soup. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I always add some Parmesan cheese to it. Big fan of Parmesan cheese over here. Seriously, once again, one of my favorite meals, as you can see by my reactions. I didn't record all my meals. This was me prepping to make the pizza, and I guess I never finished recording it, but that's just some of the meals that I eat in the week. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.